Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Live Noding. In this episode, I want to share the breakdown of this node setup that I created. This is basically kind of like a chain reaction of a couple of nodes. It's very simple to create, and I'm using Blender 2.92, and this has limited geometry node support. However, you can install Sverchok nodes with this version of Blender, so you can actually already created some interesting geometry. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look what's going on here. I have this kind of like a worms setup. You have seen this a couple of times. Here I'm just using like a line that's being passed into vector noise. One of them is generating vector, the other one is generating scalar output. And for the scalar output, I have control over the radius. Okay, the radius of the worms. Here I can control the noise, I believe. Okay. And I can randomize the seed of the worms. And I can control the scale. Alright, so that's the line. This one I use the polyline to generate curve. So we actually have curve somewhere here. I can compare. I can move the curves to the side. So we actually have two different versions of this. But here I'm converting it into mesh so we can use it with geometry nodes. That's why we have this. And here I have capsules that I can extend, I believe. So this is just a capsule geometry that I created. So we get this interesting rounded, kind of like a fur. Alright, so if I render now, so geometry nodes is doing the instancing of this gamma object. I believe I also have this delta object. What is this delta object? Okay, I forgot something. I have another material for this guy, not butter, but something else before. Okay, let me talk about geometry nodes first. So we have this delta, which is the capsules. We have gamma objects, which has the geometry nodes. If I show you the geometry nodes, very simple. Just scatter objects using point distribute, and then align the vector into with the normal. I can scale. I can use Poisson or random. The output, this just instancing the delta. And as for the objects itself, let's take a look at the shader, RenderMan shader. I'm using Pixar Vary, kind of like purplish color with random hue, probability 100%. I can randomize the seed, and yeah, then I could actually animate it with Sverchok. See vector noise here. I can animate it that way or this way. I showed you this before. Maybe this line doesn't need to be that long. Okay, you know. I think this can be kind of interesting. some kind of creatures. Yeah, the other guy here over here, I actually have another shader that's giving a more interesting result. So let's take a look. If I can go back to older version. In the older version I have, okay, frosted eyes. Even older version I have, yeah, this is the interesting shader I was talking about. Kind of like a metallic form of worms. Pretty weird, but interesting. Shader wise, it's really interesting. So this is another, just like a nodes trick. I call it this stupid bad trick. So let's just assign it into this guy. So we have these worms. That's make it thicker. Okay. Animate the worms in the x-axis. Can increase this. All right, so let's take a look. Let's compare. This one with, this is actually the hair. This is the inside of the worms. This one is using the curve. That's why we have the ending part is not closed. This part, this guy is probably more interesting. However, we can use, maybe we can use both. Excuse me. Yeah. So there we go. Now it goes inside. Okay, we can still see the ending. Okay, in that case, this can move to the side. I'm probably gonna try to render this out so you can see everything in full glory. So this is Sverchok nodes, geometry nodes, and Pixar RenderMan working together. So I kind of like the result here, and everything is just works, which is pretty cool. So if I turn this off, and turn the dome, we can have this clean IPR. This is interactive rendering. This guy over here with the intestines is actually using displacement map and fractal. So this is just a RenderMan material with Pixar surface, and I'm using displacement here. I can increase it. It's gonna update. I wish there's a way to cover the curve here. Maybe RenderMan can. This reminds me of something from IKEA actually. If you want to push this a little bit more with geometry nodes, I wonder how far can we push this actually. Let's use random density and randomize the rotation a little bit. Oops. Oh, we don't have add. Okay, this is the older version of geometry nodes. We don't have too much control there. But I think this is a lot of geometry. I can make this smaller, 0.02. It's become like a fur. Yeah. Kind of like a brush looking fur. You're right, okay. I'll take this, I guess. Interesting looking creatures. Alright, so hopefully you'll find this useful and interesting, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.